Welcome back to the silence.
You're hearing this because you're not supposed to. Tonight, I've got 3 true stories that happened when the world was asleep, but something else wasn't. If your heart skips a beat before the end, you belong here, with the silent ones. It was winter break. She was back home from college, staying in her old bedroom. Her room was on the ground floor, window facing the street. Nothing unusual, except that her street was dead quiet after 10 p.m. One night she's up late, scrolling through her phone. It's 3:07 a.m., she remembers exactly, because she had just checked the time, thinking, okay, one more video, then sleep. And then, knock knock, 3 soft taps on the glass of her window. Now, if you live in India or anywhere with nosy neighbors, you know sometimes it's just a stray dog, maybe a branch tapping. She thought the same, ignored it. But the next night, 3:12 a.m., same 3 knocks, same window. She told herself she's imagining it, but on the 3rd night she decides to check. She opens her curtains a little, and there's no one. Street is empty. Here's the part that gets under your skin. She tells her brother about it, and he decides to set up their old security camera facing her window. 4th night comes. She hears the knock. They check the footage the next morning, and they see a man crouching just below the window frame, completely out of sight from inside, tapping with his knuckle and smiling. And the smile doesn't move, even when he's breathing. She thought the camera would protect her, but the next night, he waved at it. This one's from my friend Samir. He's a delivery driver. Not the scary part, unless you count the traffic. But this happened on a Friday night, when his shift ended way too late. It's around 1:30 a.m. He pulls into his driveway. His headlights catch a man standing dead still, facing his front door. Samir honks. The man doesn't move. Now, Samir's not the type to get out and check what's going on. No, he does the smart thing. He stays in the car and calls the police. Here's where it gets weird. By the time the police arrive, barely 6 minutes later, the driveway is empty. No footprints, nothing. They walk up to the porch and find something hanging from the front door handle. It's a pair of shoes, old, worn-out men's shoes, with the laces tied through the keyhole from the inside. Samir said the officer looked at him and just shook his head like, "We're not going to talk about this right now." And that was the last time Samir worked overtime. They say the shoes were just a prank, but Samir swears he still hears footsteps in his driveway. This one's from my uncle, who used to be a bus driver in Delhi. He used to do the final route of the night, last bus at 2 a.m., only a handful of passengers. One night, there's just one guy. Sits at the very back, doesn't move, doesn't make a sound, just stares forward. My uncle reaches the final stop, turns around to tell the guy they're there. Seat is empty. Now here's where my uncle gets clever. He checks the CCTV footage in the bus, and sure enough, the man is there the whole ride, until the bus goes through a short tunnel. When it comes out on the other side, the seat is empty, but in the reflection of the bus window, the man is still sitting there, and he's still smiling. They never found the man, but last week another driver saw him on the same route. Some stories end in silence, but not all of them stay buried. If your heart skipped a beat, you belong with the silent ones. Subscribe before the next one finds you.